L's up for them hitters. Throw the L's up for them hitters. Let's go, let's go. L's up for them hitters. L's. Throw the L's up for them hitters.
How's it going, everybody? This is the Kryptonian Gamer coming to you from Best Buy.
How much does it cost?
Cost? Well, that's a question in itself. It's going to release the console itself, the core essentials of it. It's going to be about $499, so rounded 500 plus tax. But then you got to look at, you want to add another controller. Those of us who are going to be gaming, you don't want to game by yourself, so you're going to need to complete your set. Adding another controller, that's going to be about 60 bucks. So now we're at about 560 plus tax. Then you got to think, you got to pay for Xbox Live. Now we're adding another 60 or more bucks. So now we're what, 620, somewhere around that. Then you got to add the game. It's another 60 bucks. So now we're 680 or more plus tax. So roughly by the time you're done getting a controller or two controllers, a game, and getting online, which may or may not be required. People are going back and forth on that. As of right now, online is not required to play your console. We're looking at about $700. It's trusted. Look how long it's been around. Microsoft equally trusted. I mean, it's been around for a long time. They brought us crazy innovations like Windows. I mean, the computer was essential to mankind, but at the moment that we went to be able to point and click, revolutionized everything. Now, Sony, on the other hand, they focus more on the hardware aspect, bringing us things like the Discman, the Walkman, affordable CD players, affordable technology that was literally taken from the future. So Sony, big ups to you. Always bringing us hardware, always thinking leaps and bounds. Sony was the first company, mainstream, that we were seeing in 1080p with the Blu-ray player. Sony, first introduced to me personally at the PlayStation 3, approximately 7 to 8 years ago. When we saw the Xbone unveiled, when we saw the Xbone more in depth at E3 this year, 2013, it was very disappointing. I mean, for them to release the price being so high, when that was a really huge determining factor on why a lot of people went initially with the 360 over the PS3, because of price, not even doing the math, the simple arithmetic, realizing you would pay more. But for one, they jacked up the price. I mean, again, we just went over that. The Xbox, by the time you're done setting up your console, you're looking at about $700 or more. Then on top of that, the DRM policy, the digital rights management. Originally, the Xbone said, or Microsoft said, for you to purchase an Xbone or Xbox One, you had to be online. You had to have an online connection. You had to check in every 24 hours. Otherwise, your console would not allow you to engage or play in your games. Then on top of that, you also were unable to share or trade or lend games the way we traditionally do now. They had stipulations saying that you and I had to be on each other's friends list for 30 days minimum, which means not only do I have to pay for all that stuff, you have to pay to be an Xbox Live customer. Then you have to be on my friends list for 30 days after you are an Xbox Live customer. And then after you, an Xbox Live customer, you've been on my friends list for 30 days, then once I give the game to you and you install it on your hard drive, all the legal rights to that game are no longer mine. And also, we can only do that, the life of that product, one time. You can't sell it to mom and pop stores anymore. You can't sell it to GameStop anymore, back in the game, or all these other pretty much gamer geared shops. You know, for all those I forgot to mention, I apologize.
So what makes the PS4 the better system?
Well, it would be a breakdown to what your lifestyle is conducive to, but essentially, yes, I will go on the record and say the PlayStation 4 is the more superior console, as would I argue the PlayStation 3 was the more superior console to the Xbox 360. The PlayStation 4, literally Marty McFly hopped in his DeLorean, went to the future, and brought it back to us. It's really that cutting edge. The Blu-ray player is 3 times more efficient or better than the one that we currently have in the PS3, which is the Blu-ray player that the Xbox One is getting. So essentially, their Blu-ray player is still playing catch-up. The PlayStation 3 online's management, much more improved. I mean, the people spoke and they responded. Now we have multiple account sign-in profiles. That was one benefit to having an Xbox 360 over PlayStation 3. And the fact that there's now unified RAM That was the other. Besides those two things, there was no reason to get an Xbox 360 over a PlayStation 3. And now that we have that, let's look at the two hardware specs. You got both consoles, the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. They both have 8 gigs of RAM. One of them has GDDR3 RAM, which is the standard traditional RAM everybody here pretty much in Best Buy or any other store or gamer or computer is using. But the PlayStation 4 has GDDR5 RAM. Some would consider it super RAM. It's going to be a lot more efficient in handling a lot more output and handling a lot more multitasking. The amount of things it can think about while maintaining speeds without catching Alzheimer's. But 8 gigs of RAM, whether it's DDR5 or DDR3, is good. But obviously the DDR5 is a little bit more efficient. The processing speed, much better on the PlayStation 4. PlayStation 4 is clocked at 1.84 teraflops per second. The Xbox One is clocked at 1.23 teraflops per second. Both equally good, the Xbox One being a beast, with the PlayStation 4 being a juggernaut. Let's talk about 6-axis technology, something still non-existent in the Xbox. It's pretty much how you can control the motion of certain things interactively in your gameplay or in texting or any other kind of motion with the actual 6-axis technology in the controller. Meaning if I'm playing an airplane game or if I'm playing 2K, not only can I use the analog sticks to shoot free throws and move, but I can use the analog sticks when I go to the free throw line and physically do that motion and it'll react. I can be driving and literally, or parachuting in a video game, and literally this is how I navigate. Unavailable on Xbox. You got the LED light bar indicator now, unavailable on Xbox. That improvement alone from the PS3, leaps and bounds. It interacts with your gameplay, so if my health is fading, it'll flash certain colors. If I'm taking fire, it'll flash certain colors. If I'm discharging a weapon or any other kind of interaction in the game, it'll interact with the game. On top of that, it also allows you to indicate what player is what. Whereas to PlayStation 3, it had 1, 2, 3, 4, and it would allow you to double up the numbers to show which number player you were. Now it goes by light code. Still has the integrated battery, lithium, which they've extended the battery life to now, I think, 16 to 18 hours of gameplay, which is phenomenal. Unavailable on the Xbox. I'm pretty sure it still takes batteries. It's just now the bulky battery pack is no longer protruding in the back of the battery pack. Also about the controller, they've added triggers and got rid of the bumpers. Huge improvement. A lot of people had complaints about that with the PlayStation 3. It has a touchpad on it, which will allow us to interact in different ways with the video games that video game developers are saying we've never seen before. Unavailable on the Xbox. Take a look over here. Right now, currently, we sell Xbox 360 controllers with battery packs or AA batteries. I find that unfortunate. That's a joke. That is unfortunate, but necessary when you're dealing with an Xbox. Also, you asked the question, why do I feel the PlayStation 4 is more superior? In every way, I feel like it is. Let's talk about gameplay. Let's talk about the number of titles. I challenge you or anybody else out there to name more than 4 exclusive Xbox titles that are actually selling. Halo, Gears of War, Forza, some may say Left 4 Dead, but I don't even know if that's going to pick up on the Xbox One. Some people say Dead Rising, but Dead Rising is also available on PlayStation. Not sure where they got that from, but it is. Okay, so now let's look at the hardware from the Xbox 360 to the PlayStation 3. It's a sleek design, correct? This is modified. Notice it looks a lot more mirrored to the PlayStation 3 now. Getting rid of now adding the touch-sensitive buttons, first available on the PlayStation 3. But then we also took some steps back. Tray loads. We got rid of that after PlayStation 2. And originally Xbox did not have built-in Wi-Fi. We've always had it. Well, PlayStation 3 has always had it. No built-in Wi-Fi, no Blu-ray, no 6-axis technology. It's not 3D. Some people say that the graphics look better on the Xbox 360 opposed to the PlayStation 3. I'm not sure how that's possible. The Xbox 360, their games or DVDs with game data on it. Last I checked, the DVD couldn't get up to 1080p.
Throw the L's up for them hitters. Let's go, let's go. L's up for them hitters. L's. Throw the L's up for them hitters. Get it.